Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Storytime with PJ. I've got another great story for you today. This one is called God's Very Good Idea. Let's see what God's very good idea was, shall we? This is a new book. Don't you love the smell of new books? I love that smell. All right, let's find out about God's very good idea. In the beginning, in fact, before the beginning, God had a very good idea. It was an even better idea than chocolate chip cookies, solar panels, the super soaker, color TV, fireworks, the life raft, roller skates, and X-ray. Look at this. It shows all the different things that were created, ideas, and what year they were created in. The color TV was created in 1942. But you know what? When I was a kid, I wasn't a kid before 1942, but when I was a kid, we didn't have a color TV. And the super soaker was only created in 1982. Wow. Anyway, God's idea was even better than any of these ideas. God's idea was to make people, and lots of different people, who would all enjoy loving him and all enjoy loving each other. They would all be made in his image, and they would all be like mirrors reflecting what God's like. Because God is full of love, they would be full of love too. So God got to work. He made a beautiful world for the people to live in. Then he made the first people, a man and a woman. And he said to them, "Be happy, enjoy loving me and loving each other. Have a huge family that will fill the earth, and look after the earth and enjoy the earth." All of them were made in his image. God carried on creating people, and all of them were different too. Some were men, some were women, and some liked riding bikes. Some liked reading, some had darker skin, some had lighter skin. Some of them had curly hair, and some of them had straight hair. And all of them were different. We live in God's world. We're all different, but we're also all the same. Everyone you see is different than you and the same as you. They might look different or speak different or play different, but they are all made in God's image, and so they are all valuable. This is God's very good idea. I think that was a very good idea, wasn't it? But people ruined God's very good idea. The first people chose not to love God. This is called sin. And because they chose not to love God as they should, they forgot how to love each other as they should as well. We're the same. We chose not to love God, so we're not able to love each other like we should. We sin too. Sometimes we treat others badly because they're different from us. People fight with each other. People are mean to each other. People laugh at each other. I think we've all seen people like that, haven't we? Maybe we've done it too. Because we've ruined God's very good idea, he wasn't too pleased with us. Our sin means we can't be friends with him or enjoy living with him. We need God's forgiveness for ruining his very good idea. It's the same for everybody in the world. People who like reading need forgiveness. People who like riding bikes need forgiveness. People with darker skin need forgiveness, and people with lighter skin need forgiveness. People with curly hair need forgiveness, and people with straight hair need forgiveness. But God was not surprised by the people ruining things. He had always had a very good plan to rescue his very good idea. So God got to work. He came to earth as a person named Jesus. Jesus loved people who were different from him. He loved people who no one else loved. It says, "Your faith has made you well. I can see." He always enjoyed loving all the different people he met. Jesus shows us how to enjoy loving each other. But people didn't love Jesus. Instead, they hated him. They put him on a cross to die, but this was part of God's plan too. On the cross, Jesus took our sin so that we can be forgiven. Jesus forgives his people for their sins. Jesus didn't stay dead. He rose back to life and went back to live in heaven. And then he gave people his spirit to help them enjoy loving him and loving all the different people they know. Jesus helps us to love each other. One day, God will finish his very good idea. Jesus will come back and make the world perfect again. And anyone who has asked Jesus to forgive them will live there with all the different languages and skin colors. They will enjoy loving God and loving each other. They will enjoy praising God for making, rescuing, and finishing his very good idea. But here's a very, very, very good part of God's very good idea. You don't have to wait until then to enjoy it. Jesus welcomes anyone who asks him to forgive them. When Jesus welcomes someone, he welcomes them into his forever family. He welcomes people who like reading and people who like riding bikes. He welcomes people with darker skin and people with lighter skin. And he welcomes people with curly hair and people with straight hair. God's family is called the church. Your church friends are your brothers and sisters, your wonderful and colorful church family. You can enjoy loving them and loving God with them. This is God's very good idea. Lots of different people enjoying loving him and loving each other. God made it, people ruined it, he rescued it, and he will finish it. And with your church family, you can enjoy being part of it right now. I'd say that was a pretty good idea that God had, wasn't it? Well, thanks for joining me today, and make sure you like us and subscribe to our channel, and you can come back and watch another story next Wednesday. See ya!